Hey friends, welcome to Spiral Emanations. I'm Sky Gracely. If you're new, this is where weird news meets hidden histories, ancient tech, and all the mysteries your science teacher never dared touch.
And I'm Rhys Barrows, hermetic practitioner and mythology wonk over in London. We take those headline oddities and dig under the surface, because the world is always weirder than it seems.
Tiny LA update, Halloween at Descanso Gardens. Imagine hundreds of carved pumpkins, swirling fog, and me tripping over a garden light, photobombing an entire family's costume pick. If anyone sees a purple leggings big crystal disaster in their Halloween photos, that's your girl.
Pumpkin glamour and all. Sky. Braver than me, I tried Kew Gardens light trail, but London delivered biblical rain and they locked the gates on us. Ended up in a tea shop, swapping ghost stories with drenched strangers. And, yes, wearing my velvet cape. Old habits.
You with the capes, me with the crystals. If folklore had yearbook superlatives, we'd sweep most likely to haunt a botanical garden.
Speak for yourself. For new listeners, if our chaos ever gets too much, thank Brian, our producer and editor. He fixes our sound, our mistakes, and our most questionable cryptid theories. Hi, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Tonight's episode. Honestly, I had to reread the headlines. Living dire wolves, a real baby mammoth, and animals behaving like they're channeling myths. Science is poking the oldest stories awake.
And we've got a guest expert who works with those fossils, bones with secrets. So let's get into it. Is the past just bones and dust, or is it trying to talk back?
All right, let's get into the week's wildest news, starting with actual living dire wolf puppies in Texas. Not a CGI hoax, real animals. Colossal Biosciences, the company that's been talking about bringing back mammoths, their Dallas lab just revealed 3 dire wolf pups gene-edited using ancient DNA from fossils, like an Ohio tooth and Idaho ear bone, spliced into regular gray wolves. Woof remix, basically.
So Jurassic Park, but with more fur and less screaming? And they're naming them Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi. Bracingly subtle, that.
Very chill, very mythcore. They're raising these pups at a huge preserve outside Dallas, all in Colossal's latest press drop. Collab with US fossil teams, DNA stuff confirmed in journal write-ups.
But here's the argument. How dire is a direwolf if it's only got half the genes? Scientists aren't sure if these are true returns or just high-concept cosplay, but no one can deny they're big, they're real, they're not shy on social media.
And they're not alone in the past making a comeback. In Russia, Northeastern Federal University just opened up an Ice Age baby mammoth, Yana, perfectly preserved permafrost for, get this, 130,000 years. That's almost double the time humans have had, written language.
The team found her fur, tiny trunk, and, bonus, bite marks from ancient predators. They're comparing her DNA to modern elephants, hoping she'll be the blueprint for future de-extinction. Science, myth, and a heavy dash of time travel.
Then Argentina jumps in. The Patagonian Institute and Argentine Museum of Natural Science pieced together a full skeleton of Joaquin raptor Casale. Think a 23-foot raptor with a snack-sized ancient crocodile still stuck in its jaws. The photos? Movie poster status, straight from Nature Communications.
It never ends. With every new fossil, prehistory gets wilder. How many monsters are just our own deep memories showing up with more teeth?
And today's animals are joining the party. University of Auckland just caught a video, an octopus hitching a ride on a mako shark in the wild. Marine biologists flipping out. Meanwhile, at Virginia Tech, normal family dogs outpaced human experts in sniffing out invasive lanternfly eggs. 80% accuracy indoors. Canine intuition dialed up to 11.
It's as if animals are remembering things older than training, older than people. Ancient instincts or something deeper lighting back up.
Exactly. Dire wolves, mammoths, sharks with octopus copulate mode, dogs reading the land. Makes you wonder if we're waking up old stories, not just old DNA.
And if that's true, these headlines could be more than cool science. They could be the first signs of something buried coming back into focus.
Which brings us to tonight's guest, because somebody's been chasing these animal echoes since before TikTok was a verb.
Our guest tonight is Dr. Ezekiel Vance. Zeke, if you're bold. PhD in paleontology, minor in mythology, and unofficial curator of mysterious bones at the Boise Regional Museum. If a fossil keeps normal folks awake at night, odds are Zeke's poked at it.
Hi, Zeke. We've been calling you the problem fossil guy behind the scenes, which is the best fake job title ever. What actually makes a fossil problematic? Is it like a saber tooth that sends emails, or something more subtle?
Laughs. Hey, Sky. Hey, Rhys. Problem fossils. Yeah, my specialty. Imagine you're handed a wolf skull that's got scratch marks from an animal that shouldn't even exist alongside it. Or, say, you run DNA on a bear jaw, and suddenly half your results ping mammoth, The sort of thing that makes tenured museum staff decide it belongs in the back room with me and maybe a sage stick.
Why are you drawn to cases like that? Did you always have a sixth sense for fossil weirdness?
I used to play it straight, big digs, big papers. But there was this one conference picture, a room full of very serious academics, and me, with a slideshow connecting dire wolf genes, lunar cycles, and Atlantean temples. The applause. Let's call it nervously polite. That's when I realized some fossils are more than bones. They're like archive drives from Earth's old operating system. Only, sometimes, if the timing is right, those old files start to play.
Wait, fossil seance stories. I have to hear this from you, Zeke, because at this point, people whisper about your bones humming under moonlight. What's the weirdest thing you've had happen in that lab?
Okay, here's my favorite. Total lunar eclipse. Everything outside, glowing blood red. I'm cataloging a dire wolf mandible under UV light. Out of nowhere, the bone starts humming. Not figurative, actual vibration in my hand. Then boom, I get this rush. Visual, physical, emotional. Suddenly, I'm somewhere else. Giant crystal city, priests in silver, wolves with eyes like lanterns, sprinting down a glowing river of light. Well, when it faded, I was still holding the bone. Palms sweating, totally real.
That sounds, honestly, like walking into someone else's dream. When you talk about bones with memory, is that an energy thing, or do you literally see these worlds?
Sometimes it's pictures. Sometimes it's a whole scene with sounds and scents. Total sensory flashback. The right bone, right moment, right phase of the moon. Sometimes it's like unlocking an old thumb drive nobody's supposed to remember.
That lines up with myth. Oracles laying hands on relics, Siberian shamans reading mammoth tusks, wolves as messengers between worlds. History's full of people touching the past and getting lightning in return.
So we're in good hands, and occasionally haunted ones, tonight.
Laughs. No promises on the hauntings, but yes, you're in for a ride. Let me put it this way. When you see dire wolf pups born in Texas, or a mammoth lifted out of the ice, to me, that's not just cool science. It's the world remembering itself. Like a memory gets triggered and ripples out, all at once.
So you mean these animals are actually remembering? Like, could a dire wolf pup just know things from the Ice Age? Or is this just weird DNA shenanigans?
It's more than DNA. Think about how birds know to migrate halfway across the planet. They aren't taught. With creatures like this, I think we're tapping into something deeper. When we bring ancient bones into the lab, sometimes it's like pressing play on an old tape. I've seen it in the energy. Lights flicker, sensors act funny, and twice now, I've had dreams of things I couldn't possibly know about mammoths after running samples late at night.
That lines up with old myth. In Siberia, they used to say wolves weren't just animals, they guided souls down the shining path to the moon. And in so many stories, the moon keeps watch, like it's holding something back for a reason.
Wait, so the moon really is some cosmic padlock, like it stops these old memories from getting out?
A lot of lore says exactly that. The moon was a quarantine, meant to quiet things down after some huge disaster. But now, every time we splice old genes or dig up ancient fossils, it's like poking holes in that seal. Like last eclipse, my team picked up weird static on all our gear. Nobody could explain it. It's as though the old signal's fighting through.
So if we're stirring things up, what happens if the alarm really goes off? Are we talking just stranger animals or something else?
If these are just ripples, we might be standing on the edge of a tidal wave.
Or maybe we're waking up something ancient the planet's tried to keep quiet. Here's where it gets wild. Thousands of years ago, I think there really was an Atlantis, run not by humans alone, but by what I call the lunar architects, operating from within the moon itself. The moon wasn't just watching, it was a control room.
Wait, so hold on. When you say the moon isn't just a rock, what do you mean? Are we talking sci-fi, space base, or something even weirder?
Weirder. Think of the moon as a cosmic vault. The lunar architects, advanced beings, not human, used it to manage Earth's energies. Atlantis was their crown jewel. Picture cities where crystal towers glowed and ley lines literally shimmered through the streets. People and animals, especially wolves, were linked, like tuning forks vibrating together. Share a thought, share a feeling, no words needed.
So that's why bones today could still hold old memories, because everything was connected back then?
Exactly. When Atlantis fell, those connections threatened to spiral out of control. So the lunar architects hit a shutdown switch, a psi shield, dampening all those links. The world went quiet overnight. Alders described the color draining from everything. Wolves staring into space, dreams slipping away like mist.
You see echoes of that everywhere. Flood myths, exiles, legends of worlds lost overnight, the moon as the warden, not just a witness. In Norse stories, Greek, Sumerian, always a sudden cut from golden age to confusion.
But who kept any of that memory alive? If everything went silent, how do we still have legends today?
That's where the gatekeepers come in. Sometimes it was shamans or priesthoods, sometimes bloodlines of animals, even family stories, a chant, the carving, just enough to smuggle scraps of connection through the dark.
And that's why we end up with animal legends all over the world. Not just stories for kids, but literal echoes?
Right. Sometimes animal tales are just tales. But when ancient DNA is awakened, or a fossil hums at the right moment, those old memories can leak through.
So, these dire wolf pups, recognizing the moon, psi dogs beating labs at sniff tests, even octopus hitching a ride on a shark, it's not just weird news, it's the old world simmering back up, right as the shield starts to glitch.
So if my rescue cat starts acting like she remembers Atlantis, that's a sign the world's unlocking?
You never know. Those little glitches, pets acting strangely, wild instincts reawakened, vivid dreams, could be the early warning. The system's rebooting. Memory is seeping back.
So Zeke, if this psychic quarantine's fading, could people really start noticing it? Like, if my cat begins doing something even weirder than usual, has the animal side of secret history come on?
You may want to keep that moon diary handy, Sky. If the barriers are thin, don't be stunned if the cats or dogs pick up the signal first, and I'm not ready for a corgi terror circle in Hyde Park.
Honestly, watching animals is some of the best early warning science out there. Every ancient culture had stories of pets who'd see spirits or livestock refusing to cross certain paths. In my lab once, we had a dire wolf jaw fossil. Suddenly, every dog that came in for educational programs would bark at the locked cabinet. For days, it still wigs out the janitorial staff.
See, that's the kind of thing I want updates on. Maybe I should actually keep a pet moon journal. October 4th, cat stared out the window all night. Possible Atlantis flashback?
Not as silly as it sounds. Keeping track of your odd dreams, your dog's wild hunches, your parrot muttering words you've never said. Sometimes those are signals. Weirdness likes a paper trail.
Imagine the headlines now. Golden Retriever develops perfect sense of ley lines, or Pet Hamster delivers shamanic prophecy. Someday, archaeologists will dig up our journals and wonder what epoch we lived through.
Laughs. If I spot a guy in a velvet cape drawing diagrams outside my building, I'm inviting him on the show, no questions asked.
Just let him know to stay clear of the bone cabinet. But really, all of this, talking about it, comparing notes, that's how legends start. Old quarantine or not, new folklore needs storytellers.
So if you've got a pet acting cosmic, or a dream that feels ancient, send it our way. We need to know we're not the only ones. Zeke, thank you for sharing the real-life exiles. Now I'll never look at a wolf howl or a stubborn cat the same way.
Oh gosh, this was just a blast. Thanks for letting me ramble about lunar wolves and bone memories. If you ever find a fossil that hums at midnight, you know where to find me.
Zeke, thank you so much. You've officially made me double-check my rock collection. And for everyone listening, if your pets go full moon mystic, if your dreams get ancient, or your neighbor's parrot starts reciting epic poetry, send us your stories. Seriously, we love the weird.
And next week, we're diving into haunted rivers, so if your sink or bathtub starts whispering, it's not just you. Until then, keep your eyes open, and remember, sometimes the signals are right under our noses.